What's going on, Jeromes? Beautiful Friday, birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for some Vikings Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. We try to get to them in video form as best as we can, and occasionally we put out call-outs on the community tab. So thank you for everyone who tossed in questions. First up, Rudy Peel. Can you explain to me why Murphy went undrafted? He checks every box. Whenever I watched Latu's film, he stood out. It can't just be because of his arms. If it is, fire every scout in the league, So Gabriel Murphy, we just did a full video on. Go check that out. But Murphy out of UCLA, 8 sacks last year, 61 pressures, one of only 6 FBS edge rushers or defenders in total to have 60 pressures last season. And he can just get after it. Now, I think it's fair to wonder about him being a tweener, him being an every down player in the NFL. I don't think he will be, but if he can be a plus platoon pass rusher, yes. Given that he started for 5 seasons, he's a mature pass rusher. He rushes with a plan, and also, he's always been this size. He's always had short arms, and he's adapted. And I think that all the concerns about short arm edge rushers, it's the opposite of Dallas Turner. So Turner actually loves contact with offensive tackles because he can use his long arms and he can long arm offensive tackles. Where shorter arm edge rushers, they got to be more creative in terms of keeping offensive linemen's hands off them, and that's something that that Murphy does with the plum. I think that. Maybe some scouts were worried about his size, worried about his age. He turns 24 in October. Worried about he was only a factor because of Latu, which I disagree. I think that Gabe and his twin brother Grayson, who they both combined for 13 sacks, opposite of Latu. I think that they're great edge rushers in their own right. So I think the Vikings got an absolute steal, and we're still waiting to see the UDFA contracts. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Murphy got a bundle from the Vikings in terms of guaranteed money, which is important, which we'll talk about here in a second for UDFAs. Next up, Sasha Maxine. Are you at all concerned about the fact that the Vikings do not pick rounds 2 through 4 and 6 through 7 next year as right now? So the Vikings have their first. They're projected for a third. They have 2 fifths, and also they get a 7th from the trade for Jesse Davis from the Steelers. Now, am I concerned? No. Mainly because the Vikings have one of the youngest rosters in the league, and Kwesi, for all the debacle of 2022, 2023 was a solid draft class with Addison, as well as, if you count Ivan Pace Jr. and Najee Thompson. Then this year, I think the Vikings definitely hit on a couple of pipe hitters, as well as another great UDFA class. So the coffers aren't empty. That is for sure. And also, since the Vikings do have $100 million plus in cap space, they're going to be able to supplement in free agency if they want to add a couple of young veterans to offset some of the roster spots that aren't going to be filled by draft picks, which is perfectly fine. And like I said, they kept the first. So the Vikings will have options. They could trade down, and they could go with quantity over quality up in the first round. There's going to be lots of options for the Vikings. And I'm not concerned because it's 1 year. It's 1 year, and again, the media will talk about both sides of the mouth. Oh, the Vikings don't have mid-round picks, and then they'll talk about the hit rate of mid-round picks. I think they'll be perfectly fine. Next. Michael Converse, do you think we'll see Grenard, Turner, and Gink on the field, all on the field in certain packages? Absolutely. In fact, I think there could be a world where Van Ginkel, Grenard, and Dallas Turner are on the field as a base package. Like that's just the defense. All right, so obviously last year it was a 3-safety look with Harrison, Beasley, and Metellus, but you've seen that Flores is very adaptable to his personnel, which is something that I love. And you throw in the fact that Van Ginkel is basically a hybrid in terms of off-ball linebacker who can cover as well as stop the run, plus a guy who can rush the passer. I think that Van Ginkel and Metellus could be roving, floating, queens of the chessboard on the defense, which is going to be great. And Pace and Cashman going to be patrolling in the middle. Maybe it's going to be Van Ginkel and Cashman in the middle, and allowing Pace to do Ivan Pace Jr. things, maybe rush the passer more. Grenard and Turner on the edge, and it's really exciting. It's going to be really exciting to see how Flores integrates everyone. Plus, I'm not even so sure that Gabriel Murphy isn't going to be make the roster and be impactful. Sylvie literally just disconnected the cable. I knew that was coming, but there will be spots where maybe Gabe Murphy, maybe Patch Jones second, maybe Jihad, maybe Andre Carr the second get in there as sub package as well. Like it's going to be really exciting just to see these mishmash units of heat and pressure. Can't wait to see it, man. Next. Nirvana. How do UDFA contracts work? 1, 2, 3 year deals, or they're just 1 year deals? Why wasn't Pace free agent this year? Love the content name. My son and I watch you every day. Hey, thank you. Skull, you're the best. Skull from Illinois. Thanks for cheering for the best team over in enemy territory. So UDFAs are given a boilerplate 3-year deal, and then the 4th year is a restricted free agent deal, right? And now you see exclusive rights free agents all over the place. So generally what happens is if players are cut from the 53 or practice squad, sometimes they're brought back on a 1-year deal, sometimes it's a futures deal. But if you have less than 2 years accrued, you become exclusive rights free agent. Basically, it's the team names its price, and it's bottom level. But for UDFAs, so they're given a league minimum deal for 3 years, and also that can be highly variant where in terms of guaranteed money, because as we said, so Ivan Pace Jr.'s contract, for example, Pace was able to finesse $236,000 guaranteed on his 3-year deal, which was more than any player drafted in the 6th or 7th round last year. So we said, if you're not going to be drafted in the first 5 rounds, it may be advantageous to go undrafted because you can pick where you want to go. You can potentially negotiate sizable guaranteed money, and you're good to go. And basically what happens is, so Pace is going to play out his 3-year deal. He's going to be a restricted free agent in his 4th season. And what happens with restricted free agents is teams have the right of first refusal, and they can put a restricted free agent tag on the player. So it can be first round, second round, or original round. All right, so original round is 0 in compensation, and other teams can make offer sheets. And with Pace, they'll probably put, maybe they'll put a first round tender on him. And the first round tender pays X amount of dollars. Second round tender pays slightly less, but still decent. So, and also example for Adam Thielen, who obviously was a UDFA, before he signed his first big deal, they put the second round restricted free agent tender on him. So it paid him a little something. Teams could have negotiated with Thielen, but they would have to given up a second round pick if he signed the offer sheet and the Vikings didn't match. But it's an argument for another day. Either way, the Vikings do have Pace Jr. for league minimum for the next 3 years, essentially. So I mean, they're going to be good to go. So that's what happens with UDFA contracts. Now, everything gets a mismatch once players are cut from the 53 and then on the practice squad and then called up and then back and forth and futures deals. Yeah. Next, Dana Wagner. Would you have traded up to get 3 to get Drake, or what we actually got? So I know it's all smokescreen season and cover your ass season, but I mean, have we ruled out that the Vikings were trying to trade up for McCarthy? I mean, maybe, yeah. But yeah, obviously the way that worked out, I'll take it. I mean, J.J. McCarthy is everything that you want for someone to operate this offense. Kevin O'Connell is absolutely sold and in love with J.J. McCarthy. Plus Dallas Turner. I mean, people are still sleeping on Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner could be the defensive rookie of the year easily, man. Now, if the Vikings trade out for May, you don't have McCarthy. You don't have Turner because they would have given up 23, and you don't have next year's future first-round pick. Now, as much as I love Drake May, I love what the Vikings did in terms of keeping your powder dry, making small trade-ups, and securing McCarthy, Turner, and keeping your first. I'd rather do that than May. Now, I got love for Drake May. I hope he does well. I'm very concerned about him landing with the Patriots. I think that they're talent deficient. I think that he needs a lot of work. He needed to be surrounded by talent, and I'm worried that some of his bad habits are going to be extrapolated with the Patriots, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, that's it. Q&A on this beautiful Friday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, production value.